I feel like every girl probably has like a rough side to them. And I think that's a part of my message too for girls is like, you can play rough sports.
It's easier to be a role model when things are going good for you, right? When you're winning all these medals, when you're doing so well and you have all these accolades and all this attention. But what happens when you're struggling?
When I think of an example of anybody who keeps on pushing their limits every day, I think I get really inspired.
You know, when I was younger, I didn't have female athletes to look up to in women's ice hockey. And nowadays, they look up to the pros or the girls on the national team, but now they can look up to the college players. And
I'm a woman, I talk about certain things. Maybe it's because I don't talk about things that could interest women, but they could very well give strength just by watching a woman do this.
I decided to leave my country and to fight out of Afghanistan for my country, for the women, and to follow my dreams.
Girls could see, like, I don't know, they could see other athletes doing their thing. Like growing up, I didn't have a lot of like role models.
Hey everyone, Jamie here. We're gonna try something different. We've now interviewed over 350 exceptional women athletes from over 55 countries around the world. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna mash up conversation. Let's jump in.
What's up, y'all? So we're finished our last practice before we leave, and I'm so excited.
Hi, I'm Ariana Ramsey. So I started playing rugby in high school. It was actually really random. I was with one of my best friends, and we were set up. They like had all these stands set up for like different things that you can join. We had no idea what rugby was, but like the group of girls were like these big cheerleaders who were like really like, yo, come out and play rugby, come out and play rugby. So we were like, okay, we'll sign up because they were like so excited. So the basketball girls are already putting women in sports on the map. Like we could see that like going up, the views going up, the hype going up. And I wish that will happen for rugby as well, specifically. And I think social media is just going to be our biggest pathway for it. It's like us, not only the work that we do behind the scenes, but like getting people to see and learn more about our sport. And hopefully that comes naturally. Like if we do well, we perform well, we win a gold medal, like people will know who we are. People are still confused that women play rugby. Even my own grandma, she's just like, that's such a rough sport. Why are you playing it? Like you're a girl, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the heck? Like you're still feeling women's side. But like, yeah, people don't see women as being rough. Like we're not supposed to be rough. I feel like every girl probably has like a rough side to them. And I think that's a part of my message too for girls is like, you can play rough sports. You can not like girls all doing it. You can, not that there's anything wrong with that. And even if I did, like, I don't get why everyone's so concerned.
Jackie Dubrovich, NCAA silver medalist, your first year out of college, and the momentum continues.
My name is Jackie Dubrovich. I'm a women's foil fencer. And I got into the sport because I first did dance and gymnastics from a young age. And I'm quite tall. I'm 5'10", and that did not fare well. So my parents were looking for a sport to put me into that I could actually do well in. And I had a cousin who fenced, and I'm from New Jersey. We have a very established high school fencing scene. And so I started fencing, and it's been 21 years later. I do think that serving as a role model and ushering in the next generation of female fencers is so important. I didn't necessarily have a female role model that I looked up to in fencing myself. And I do think it's so important. And, you know, currently our team is quite young. We have myself and my teammate Lee, and we're the two veterans. And then we have a younger generation coming up of 21-year-olds who are so young in my eyes. And I do hope to serve as a role model to them and help them, just acclimate to being on the team.
So when you talk about being a role model, what does that actually mean to you?
To me, it means serving as a positive example. I think one thing that I've thought a lot about is, you know, it's easier to be a role model when things are going good for you, right? When you're winning all these medals, when you're doing so well and you have all these accolades and all this attention. But what happens when you're struggling or you're injured or you're not able to perform to your highest capabilities? It's a lot harder to put your own performance aside and to be supportive of other people and truly supportive. when times get tough for you. And so I think for me, I always have to remind myself that if I have a bad competition or a bad bout, it's not just about me. It's also about my teammates, and it's about serving or just being there for them and being this positive example of rising up from, falling down and overcoming any obstacles.
Mansi Joshi has excelled in international events such as the Para Badminton World Championships, and she has won 30 medals for the country.
2019, I became a world champion.
Mansi Joshi's journey is nothing less than a roller coaster ride. At Paris, her eyes will be set on a gold medal.
Hi, I'm Mansi Joshi. I'm para badminton player from India, and I'm currently going to be representing India at Paralympic Games.
Mansi, I think of you, and obviously so many other people do, as such a role model. What is the type of role model who you hope to be for women, girls, para athletes, anyone globally?
I think disability is not easy. Dealing with everyday challenges are not easy. But then when I see somebody who has similar disability or similar situation or circumstances, or somebody who has been through some of the most difficult challenges, and when they have come back, and they have proved to the world that they are there to stay, they are there to rise on the podium. I mean, I get inspired. In my most difficult days of training, when I think of an example of anybody who keeps on pushing, be it able-bodied or para-sports, who keeps on pushing their limits every day, I think I get really inspired, and I wish to be that person for somebody else.
By Shelley Looney. Shelley Looney sat and stood at the side of the goal net, out of the crease, and waited patiently.
The girls program here at the Bisons, when I first started, they only had 3 teams, and this past year we had 8. My name's Shelley Looney. I used to play women's ice hockey. Now I'm in the coaching world, but I started when I was 6 years old and continued to play all the way up to the national team. So I've had a great experience in that situation. It's a great sport that's given me so much. I think back, when I was younger, I didn't have female athletes to look up to in women's ice hockey. And nowadays, they look up to the pros or the girls on the national team, but now they can look up to the college players. And, I was at the game last week, and to see all the little girls in the stands and support of the school, we didn't have that, and so it's amazing and wonderful feeling for them to have that opportunity.
Okay, so I gotta ask, who were your sports role models then? Because a lot of what we try to do is to elevate incredible women like yourself and other women from around the world, because we believe if you can see it, if you can hear it, you can be it. Right. So who did you look up to when you were a young athlete?
Out of Michigan, I grew up in Michigan, so there was a woman, Lisa Brown, her name's Lisa Brown Miller now, but so she would come back and play and practice with us when I was in high school, and she was at Princeton University playing. And so when she would come back, I'd be like, she's so amazing. Like, I was in awe, and I just wanted to be like, I hope I get to be, that good and be able to play in college hockey someday. So I did have someone to look up to in that sense, and it just happened in 1998. We were actually teammates and line mates in the Olympics.
Oh.
So kind of came full circle. So that was pretty neat.
Did you ever get a chance to tell her that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
This week, the renowned judoka welcomes Fatao to the dojo as Manyang has won several gold medals during her tour. The athlete is training martial arts licensees all week in Papete.
So I am Asmaniang, an Olympic athlete, Rio, Tokyo. I participated in Rio 2016 and Tokyo 2020 with COVID. My journey is a bit unusual, a bit quirky, because the Olympic dream came to me late. So I am an athlete with long longevity.
Asma, you mentioned you work with everyone, but you have a particular commitment to women and girls. What is the future that you want to see specifically for women and girls in sport?
I think things have evolved a bit for women's sports, but I feel that sometimes people might think it's because nobody watches. The last time I asked myself this question, and I stayed on this question for a long time: why is women's sports less watched? And the message I want to leave, that I really want to leave, is to all the women who don't necessarily do high-level sports, women, if they all watched, because football, the boys, they watch them, they have people watching them. That means in the end, these women need them, meaning it's also these women who should give us strength to increase this visibility. Because I've looked at it from all sides. We don't have sponsors because nobody watches us. I've thought about where this comes from, and I realized we don't have a fan base. For me, on Instagram, 15% of my followers are women. 15% statistics of women follow me. That's the reality. And yet, I'm a woman, I talk about certain things. Maybe it's because I don't talk about things that could interest women, but they could very well give strength just by watching a woman do this. And I think it comes from that, the fact that I also bring attention to the side of women who are there, whether they're feminists or they want to uplift other women. But in fact, these athletes need them, you, to watch them, so we have more visibility, more strength. That women, we help each other with this. And especially, specifically in sports.
Que les femmes, on s'entraide là-dessus. Et surtout, spécifiquement dans le sport.
We can expect until the end of this year about 130 million displaced the people and migrants.
Set by Mazia Hamidi, she was part of Afghanistan's national taekwondo team and she's won several gold medals.
I started taekwondo when I was in Iran. Into 2020, I moved to my country, Afghanistan, and I joined national taekwondo team in Afghanistan. I was in national taekwondo team and I was preparing for the Olympic Games in Paris. But because the Taliban came to Afghanistan and they took the power, I couldn't stay anymore in my country because they banned sport, school, everything for women. And I came to Paris, to the city of hosting Olympics this year. Now I'm training with the French team, but officially I will represent a refugee team at the Olympics in Paris 2024. When the Taliban came, everything was finished for us, you know. I could go to the gym, I could go to school, I could do something before the Taliban with many problems, security problems, but still I could go. But when the Taliban came, I received a message from my coach. He told me that Taliban say to us that, tell to the girls, never come to the gym again. Never think about it to go to gym again. Because if we see you around the gym, we're gonna do what we want, you know, to the girls. So I say to my coach, they really say that? He said, yes, if you don't believe me, you can go and try. I say, no, thank you. I'm okay. I don't want to try and to put myself in a danger. So on that time, I understand that I'm losing my identity as a woman in my country. I cannot be visible in my country. Women are invisible now in Afghanistan. And there is a gender apartheid in Afghanistan. And there is many things happening to the women in my country. It's not just they are banned from schools, you know. It's not just they are banned to go to gym. There is more than that. Even they cannot go out without their brother, without their husband. So there is many sad things that is happening to women of Afghanistan right now. And I'm very sad that I cannot do anything for them because I was there for 5 months. You know, for me, it was only in the news, Taliban, you know. I watched them in the TV. I never seen them in my life. Like when I analyzed that they are here and we lost everything, for me, it was like, no, it's not possible. And every day I was thinking how I should continue my life with burqa. I never think that I have to leave my country, you know. I was thinking how to fight, how to deal, what is the solution. So I understand the situation is different. I decided to leave my country and to fight out of Afghanistan for my country, for the women, and to follow my dreams. It was very hard for me to leave my country, but you know, there was no choice for me, and I just wanted to be safe.
Marta Pen Freitas, the Brooks Beast from Portugal, is in the lead position.
Freitas quickly approaching. Marta Freitas surging to the outside. Here she comes, and there she goes.
My name is Marta Pen Freitas. I'm a two-time Portuguese Olympian for track and field. And I got into running because when I was a kid, I thought that was my superpower. So that's kind of how the story goes. We need more representation, and I'm really excited at this point because I feel like social media, it's been so good too, because girls could see, like, I don't know, they could see other athletes doing their thing. Like growing up, I didn't have a lot of like role models, and I feel like, and there's some sports there was like no role models at all, like football, like soccer here, football in Portugal, and F1, for example. And now like there's sports that are like very male dominant, you start having like female representation, and I think that's huge, and I can't wait to see the effect on that. On the other hand, I do hope there are more, like, not just women's. I feel like often women's sports are actually ruled by men. Yeah, so I want like more boards and like more directors to be like more agents to be women. It will make a big difference too, because we need to be understood in a different level too, and we have to have more representation in like more like directive positions as well.
Thanks for joining us. If you like what you're hearing, please leave us a positive review. If you want to impact the future stories we tell, take our community survey in the note section of this podcast or in the YouTube links. We want to hear from you. Stay tuned for our next episode.
If you're not following the Flame Bearers channel, covering resilient women Olympians and Paralympians, hearing about their struggles, hopes, and triumphs, you don't know what you're missing. Subscribe and watch new episodes of Flame Bearers now.